Hi, this is Little Dwarf playing games while rambling incoherently into a microphone. Why? Well, just because I can. And I continue with Thief 2 Shadows of the Metal Age. Blind. I'm still here in the candy shop. Oh, great. Okay, I'm also failed the level.
Oh no, I've been noticed.
Which is actually pretty impressive. like it's I thought he goes somewhat further and I could hide, but I need to wait until he goes back. It's probably like a world record in how quickly you can fail a level after starting the game. So yeah, that is actually kind of impressive in its own way. So basically I have to wait until he goes back past this door and then I can continue.
Never eating that again. Oh.
Okay, this goes out as well. Like, there's still this train depot, which I do want to check. I've been there obviously, but in one of the previous missions. So
Shadows don't move like that.
there might be.
What's going on with these torches?
Just wait till I
Okay, so this is literally. I need to go north. Secret entrance to the smuggler's cave. It's not exactly where I was planning to go, but I might as well check it out. Maybe there's some new loot around.
Hey, who goes there? I guess it was nothing.
Concealment potion. Okay, that's actually a pretty powerful item, all things considered, so it was worth a detour, I think. It might really help me in a clutch.
What was that? Boy, probably just the guys trying to pull some kind of trick on me again. Can't fool me.
That doesn't help me in the slightest, to be honest.
Well, wonder what that was. That last pint. Probably nothing. Bunch of tappers. Did I just intruder?
Okay,
Oh no.
didn't know there was another one. I need a sort of a plan of where to go. Like, I guess first I need to go kind of west before I go north.
Well, I guess it's nothing.
Shouldn't have had that last
Jump.
line.
And I was a better man for her. Try this.
Oh no, I've noticed.
I walked straight into that guy. You know, my own incompetence is sometimes funny to me, because, like, at this point, I am in such a... when it comes to being bad, at least at video games, I'm in a pretty comfortable level in that I have completely accepted that. Like, I no longer feel bad about being bad, because I still have fun with the games, even if I fail. Because for me, you know, the fun of playing games does not really come from overcoming what? What are you talking about? Does not really come from overcoming the gameplay challenge, but rather from, you know, enjoying the story and the world. So even if I fail in the gameplay department, there is still so much more that a game can offer me, and I'll be satisfied. What? What's so wrong with those torches?
That torch was lit just a minute ago.
When I find you, you won't be so bunch of tappers.
Just wait till I find you.
Nothing after all.
I think I'm done anyway.
You better hope I don't find you.
When I find you, you won't be so hidden.
I have so many of those water arrows, I might as well utilize some, but they don't seem to be working properly. Like, look at that. This is a point-blank shot into a torch. Like, if that doesn't work, then what would?
Get too comfortable. I'll find you in a minute. You don't want me to come look for you.
I can't wait to
Just
get
come
my
on out.
hands on
My
you.
hands on one. Just stay put. I'll find you in a minute. You are. I can't wait to get back to the city next week. Aha!
I don't really get it, to be honest. So, unless the game takes a rather nuanced approach to, like, the physics of water, because, like, physically speaking, there is a container at the tip of the arrow that has water in it. So logically speaking, the best way to douse a flame would not be to shoot it directly, but rather to shoot, like, slightly above it, so that the water pours out onto the flame and douses it that way. So maybe that's the logic that the game operates by.
just to win.
Copies, I guess. Gotta get some new boots. I'm hearing something.
I have 19 of them left, so I should be okay even if I waste a couple. Because I'm pretty much, you know, past the middle of the mission. I have this to explore, and then it's off to the cathedral to plant the node. So, you know,
Fall asleep.
I can afford to be a little frivolous with how I spend them.
To me. These new torches aren't all they're cracked up to be.
Oh no, I've been noticed.
These new torches aren't all they're cracked up to be. I'll go to see. Huh? Did something move over there? Probably just the guys trying to pull some kind of trick on me again.
Next time I go out, I'm going to do a job alone, I tell you right now.
Okay, so more north, right? To get to the train depot. Is that just a regular guard? So they should have no quarrel with me, right? Got a sweet tooth? Come and visit the goodie bag. I read that the first time I arrived at Sunnyport. So, are you hostile? No. The Hammerites probably would be, though.
I feel tired of this place. Everybody's always looking at me like I'm funny. I'm not funny.
Is there a gas arrow up there? That's definitely interesting. Will you object to me climbing this?
Don't move.
Yes, you will, because I brandished a weapon, which is entirely reasonable, to be honest. An arrow with a rope attached to it is still an arrow. You can kill a person with it. So that's like brandishing a gun or something. So I understand that reaction. What I think I'm going to do is I'll wait for this guy to...
Oh God, I gotta get some new boots. These boots are killing me. Ah.
to turn his back.
What were they? Better check. Hey, I see you there. Oh, come on.
That didn't exactly work the way I wanted it to, but they are both alive, so I'll take this. It is a gas arrow. That's actually pretty awesome. Guile, for 2 weeks now I've noticed these darkly dressed, rough-looking characters coming and going from the steam rail. I don't think any of them own shops around here, and hell if I know where they go. I haven't noticed anything strange around town, like the break-ins we had last winter, but it still makes me wonder. While I'm gone, you can probably get away with closing at noon. In the off-season, the only thing people come here for is the gossip. I could have some juicy tidbits when I get back from the city. I'm hoping for a glimpse of this new Sheriff Truart and to learn more about this mechanist group. I even heard that this Karras person was here to see our own brother Cavador last week. He's supposedly quite popular in the city, and Doris says his voice is rich and deep. Very romantic. I'll have lots to tell. Take care, Dina. Okay, so I think I'm ready to go to the cathedral, although I'm kind of short in the loot department. Like, I need 650 and I only have 370. And you know, after I plant the evidence in Cavador's room, it's pretty much the end of the mission, so ye old smuggler's cave, this way. This is just the front door of the candy store. Now, which way from here? I need to go, like, west? So, this way. I think I might have even come from here. Originally. Yes, I did. Okay, I went the wrong direction. Like, I need to go kind of northwest. This is the path I've originally taken, right? This is probably somewhere over here-ish.
I don't know what everybody's complaining about. I like Rat.
Didst I see something move with mine failing eyes? Spare the hammer, rot the child.
Now, I still think it's pretty contrived that the Hammerites are willing to kill me on sight just because I'm a woman and I look suspicious.
Look, honey, a real Hammerite, like the one in your drawing book.
How dare thee, vile heathen! What sort of mother would allow a child to possess a book filled with crude renderings of the builder's creation? 'Tis blasphemy.
But, sir...
Wouldst that our order shone forth in its former glory, I would have thee bound forthwith and thrown into Craig's cleft prison, and the child taken into the Order of the Hammer, where he wouldst be reared properly.
How dare you? We're just here to see the smuggler stand, not to be preached to on the street by some pajama-wearing, overgrown religious nut. Come on, Tommy.
I'm afraid you won't find any smugglers here, O faithless one. Our magnificent order hath driven them all out.
Is this guy insane? He just threatened a woman over a child's drawing?
A relief it is that it was nothing but mine own imagination.
And besides, the drawing seemed to be at least partially, in praise, right? The kid has drawn a Hammerite because, I assume, because he thought they are cool. When you're a kid, you generally don't really spend that much time drawing things you don't like. Although I guess you might to mock them, but nothing suggests that that is what was being done here. So overall, that's a pretty weird overreaction, but So, there's a sewer entrance that I'm supposed to be using, because obviously the main gate doesn't work anymore. Is there a visible switch or something like that? Or do I need to just find a different entry point? Curse my rotten luck. I am writing this since it might well be that I die down here. I slipped in some muck and I have injured my back very badly. I can't feel my legs. I've been calling for help for what seems like days. It's hard to say how long it's been, since it seems to since time seems to stand still down here. I'm so hungry, I'm growing weak. I should have never gone looking for these bandits that are rumored to be hiding down here. I just wanted to prove myself to you, my sweets. Oh, fair Lady McAlpine, how I only wish to see your face one last time. Big Willie. That's the guy, I read about him last time. That's the guy who wanted to be an adventurer to prove himself to his girl. Okay, I'll look for a different sewer grate, because I think there were a couple.
Sunnyport. Ha! By the builder, the sun is surely frightened away by the greed and avarice of these beggarly shopkeepers.
Thought I saw something.
Indeed. Okay, that's poorly done. And I might need the health, so... There are the builder's children down here as well, which is interesting because seemingly the mechanists are only slowly beginning to convert Brother Cavador. So maybe they gifted a couple of them to him.
I saw.
Listen.
Okay, that actually kinda worked. I am satisfied with this. Bishop Billet. This is our second month in this wretched town. The name of the place belies the terrible weather, the foul disposition of the citizens, and the poor quality of the food and hygiene in this place. Nevertheless, we gladly continue in the builder's work. We had secured a small passage in the sewers near the Hammerite Cathedral, close to what seems a secret entrance to the private area used only by the priests. It was several days of work bringing the iron beast into the depths, and we did labor greatly with each piece, then assembled it in our small hideaway to guard and protect us from unwanted intrusions. At first, Sister Adston and I did show our faces too much in the town, though nearly always in the areas near our great steam carriage. Fearing suspicion, we did secure the services of a delivery boy who delivers perishable foods to the Hammer Cathedral. He was able to give us a great deal of information about the Hammer hierarchy and many intrigues taking place within the Sunnyport Order itself. Though he had been scarce for 10 and 2 days now, I shall wait to report our findings until we have spoken with him again. By the strength of Karas, Brother Stibbons. Now, Stibbons is another character from Terry Pratchett. He is one of the unseen academics. Brother Stibbons and Sister Adston, thy work is holy and should be revered as such. Even in Sunnyport doth the narrowness of the Hammerites beset the builder's children, binding those who would serve him with great liberty, make their way secret, yet close the grounds of the Lighthouse Cathedral, the foul womb of the Hammer Doctrine, use whatever means the Builder shall provide to gain knowledge of their weaknesses. For every beast has some frailty. Thus you shall pave the way for the teachings of Brother Karas, which will finally bring true light to the dark sunny port, for the glory of Karas and the Builder, Bishop Village. Yeah, that was just a dead rat that I lost some health over. I thought it might be a pouch of money. Wait, how does this help me? It seems like it helps me in no way whatsoever. Use the secret sewer entrance to enter the rear of the Hammerite compound. Now, the mechanists mentioned it, so it must be somewhere within the area that they've explored. Unless it's somewhere behind the Iron Beast.
I have noticed something. An error fails to understand creation.
Doesn't look like it, so maybe there's yet another branch of the sewer. But that seems to make little sense to me, because they've been talking about this entrance, so logic would dictate it's something that's within their area of control. You know, they've encountered it. Oh, maybe that's it. Indeed, because that's the mark of the hammer. In Compendium of Elementals, initial research by Brother Renault, there is no question that most elements are sentient in some sense, though why some are aggressive and others passive is not known at this time. The following is a description of the known hostile elementals. Fire elementals, though often summoned by practitioners of evil magics, these small fiery balls of flame take on independent action, spitting flame at any nearby living being it considers a threat. Usually found in places that have been occupied by wicked mages, the precursors were said to have utilized those elementals as guardians of secret treasure houses, but rarely are any discovered to still exist from that period. If a brother should encounter such elemental, the builder's holy water is the best defense against these projectiles. Soul elementals. Origins or cause is unknown. Much speculation abounds, especially about those. They were reported by several blood brothers who were involved in the old quarter quarantine years ago, one in particular, the brother named Bertold. Bertold was an old man at the time of my inquiries, and a bit flighty in his speech. He rambled on about a certain hospital run by heretics in the old quarter during the days of the uprising. Several brothers in his group were attacked by what he described as floating masks, which had the power to reanimate corpses. I have found no other report of such elementals in my research, and have subsequently disregarded them as figment of the old man's imagination. Storm elementals. Thought to be legend at best, these elementals are alleged to attack victims exposed in open areas with blue and white lances of energy, much like that generated by the builder's machinery, but with more force. Additional information is needed before the existence of it can be substantiated. Wind elementals. Very dangerous as they are unable to be seen. Those in the company of the victim report hearing a brief gush of wind before the victim is swept off their feet and thrown to the ground. It appeared the sudden rush of air is capable of crushing bones of the victim, killing them instantly. Also reportedly able to be summoned by the mages, with the gifting for evil magics.
My tired eyes play tricks, or I did see something move. Mine, does play tricks in my old age.
Okay, I'm back.
Come forth now where I might see reveal thyself. Spare your spear! My grandmother, 'twas more a threat with a rolling pin.
Okay,
Try again, foolish thief.
that was actually kind of funny. That was a funny insult. You know, that's a classic insult, comparing your enemy to, like, grandma or whatever. Although, to be honest, now that I think about it, that's kind of disparaging towards your own kin. Like, are you trying to tell me your mom is not a badass? Like, you know. Mine definitely is.
So much for the vows of poverty.
Snow in Sunnyport? Bah. Tis most assuredly fair
Chase
weather
away
in the
the
city
hoof
this
and
day.
line. Roof and doorway, block and beam. Chase the trickster from our Didst I see something, or do mine eyes play me false? What disruption? My grandmother 'twas.
The builder upholds all who fall, and raises up all who are bowed down. The eyes of all look expectantly to you, and you give them their work in due season. You open your hand and satisfy the desire of every man who drives the nail. Psalms of the Builder. And the word of the builder came to me, saying, Son of the forge, the order of thy ways has become a dross unto me. As men gather silver, bronze, iron, lead, and tin into the midst of the furnace and blow fire into it, so shall I gather my children to test them for a time. For one who is of you, and yet not of you, shall rise from the flames, to be the father to the fatherless, and the husband to the widow, and the son to the childless. For the sloth of the hammer doth wax great, and my anger will not be quenched, lest this one rule for a time, that those who call upon my name might remember me in the time of trial, and call to me in their day of their despair. Then shall I hear their voice, and shall deliver them from the hands that trust in gear, and forsake the wonders of the hammer, and the simplicity of the nail, except from the discernment of the bow. Okay, so this seems to be some kind of a prophecy about the rise and fall of Karas, because it says here, there will be a time when one who is of you and yet not of you shall rise, which is, Karas was a Hammerite and then broke off, and he will rule for a time, and then he will be overthrown.
If I have to take matters into my own hands, fell the trickster to a mighty foe, and didst return the builder to much praise and victory. The trickster shall not step foot in his house again.
I'm not hearing things. Builder, guide me. I know thou art there.
What is an intruder? Thou art... Oh, you'll have to do better than that, knave. Cursed sneak.
Show thyself, scoundrel.
shall
Thou
crush
canst
thy
only remain
flesh
hidden for
to
so long.
Strike hard, brother. I find without hesitation.
I can be a little frivolous with those resources, because to be honest, the end of the mission is probably rather quickly approaching.
Bah, 'twas nothing after all.
Thus says the builder, be not afraid of the words which we have heard, and of those who would seek to destroy the way of the hammer, for they have blasphemed me, and surely shall I bring calamity upon their number. I will cause them to fall by their own hand. Incline thy ear to the builder's words, keep thy way pure before me, and I shall prove my faithfulness, for I am the sword, and thy great reward.
Thou shalt not get away from here.
Okay, that was poorly done. Brother Marcus, Brother Theodore. And Brother Davis.
This wretched place. Ungrateful miscreants.
Okay, first let's open this. How is it that individuals can be so cruel? How can they not understand the ramification of their small actions? And yet, surely I have made grievous errors as well, so small in my mind and so grand in their action. Have I not been of service? Have I not given everything of myself that I could? I feel nothing but cold emptiness for our hallowed leader. That he would not persecute that reprehensible baker's assistant who spiked my bread with spice is beyond comprehension. Now I must live with this addiction, a torment that I have never known. Had that damned boy not perpetrated such a foul prank, and the bishop's nephew no less, had he been the relation of anyone else? How can I place my love and trust in an institution so easily manipulated? I cannot, I will not, but my love for the builder is strong, and I will not leave his service, wailing like a spoiled child. I hope my meeting with those mechanists next week proves fruitful. Perhaps they can provide me with the comfort I seek. Perhaps they can aid me in recovering the wonder and the burning commitment I felt all those years ago. Well, does he mean literal spice? Because if so, that's kind of silly, isn't it? Like, I understand it's supposed to probably mean that they almost purposefully have their meat, like their meals, flavorless, because maybe the most puritanical of them consider, you know, spicing your food, using too much spice to be like frivolous and decadent. But that's still, what? That's still a bit of a silly reason to suddenly doubt your choices in life because you got addicted to salt or whatever. High Priest Cavador, okay, that's kind of what I'm looking for. So to be honest, because I'm supposed to leave it in his room, right? Yes, but also the mission won't end until I return, so might as well.
These must be Cavador's quarters.
I feel as if two paths stretch out before me. I have finally met the controversial brother Karas. I will dare to call him brother here in my writings, for I see in his eyes and hear in his words the same devotion to the builder that fuels my heart. As I stood shivering in the cold, for Quartermaster Samuel has yet to be found, Karas spoke of the new writings of the Master Builder, his own vision for the future of those who would follow, and of the new order, which will undoubtedly surpass the glory of the Hammerites. Despite the winter air, I was enveloped in the warmth of the Builder, as Karas spoke of a marine project, the Cetus Amicus, he so called it. He has been observing my career from afar, and has somehow gained knowledge of my experience in such areas. I am almost suspicious that he might have been reading this journal, and is aware of my doubts and fears, how different from my current leaders. This man is a visionary, not bogged down in tradition and legalistic jargon which only serve to complicate the plan of the Builder. I have given no answer as of yet, for such a decision cannot be made lightly, nor with casual concerns. I would lose many friends over such a drastic defection. Still, I stand to gain so much more in the Mechanist Order. Yet another decision to make. Quartermaster Samuel's family came to claim the body today. Such a tragedy. He was a faithful brother who served our mission well. I am perplexed as to how he met his demise. Again, the Builder seems to lay obstacle in my path. Issues to consider. Samuel will be hard to replace, and have little heart to seek another quartermaster. Perhaps it should not be my burden to bear if I forsake this calling to follow Karas. Onam has yet to return from the mausoleum, and I fear the worst. It has been now 3 weeks, and the last of our order to venture there did so less than a generation ago. Many of those brothers left the service of the Builder, their faith shaken to the core. Whether the orb will be of any aid to the failing Hammer Order I know not, but I wish no ill towards Brother Onam. Despite his recent behavior, he is a faithful servant of the Builder and should be rewarded for his courage and tenacity in this matter. My newfound hope in the teachings of Karas gave me pause concerning the orb. If Onam is successful in recovering the artifact, I will not turn it over to the Hammerites to use against Brother Karas. Better it remains in the depths of those tombs than to become a weapon in the coming battle between the Builder's children. Now, the Cetus Amicus is a submarine that the mechanists have built in Thief 2. There is a mission concerning it. All must hear the words of Karas. My eyes have seen the vision of the Builder's will, the breaking of the metal dawn. Why would not the Builder use all manner of tool and trade to shape his people? Is the Builder so small that his hand is only upon the hammer of our forebears? The Builder has created man with the ability to wield not only the mallet, but also the pen. Not just the hammer, but the gear. The Builder of lesser matter is the Builder of lesser matter than his own children. Are we not created in his image to follow in his ways? How creative the works of the Builder appear to my eyes. He uses all manners of men and all manners of tool to accomplish his purpose. He conforms all to his will. Why then will we be ashamed to do the same? Nay, brothers, we should be ashamed if we fail to do likewise. Do not all men belong to the builder? Do not all metal and the very soil from which it comes bear the mark of his great artistry? Why then, my brothers, do we bind ourselves in the tradition of the hammer, when the builder has set no such bond upon us? Why do we shun the use of any manner of men, when the builder has seen fit to use any man for his glorious ends? We must lose ourselves from the shackles of our past, from our narrowness and hypocrisy, and take up this new way. I have touched the tools of the builder, gear, steam, flame, earth, hammer, and yes, the cog, but none to the exclusion of the other. We must join the bounty of his provision to reach higher, for the sake of the builder's glory and for the sake of this glorious calling he has placed upon each of us. Like, to be honest, disregarding the fact that Karras himself is a madman, the mechanists are clearly onto something. Because, first of all, they are more egalitarian in their approach, because they allow women to join their order as well. And obviously, they, in comparison within the scope of the setting, they are geniuses. You know, to be honest, not even within the scope of the setting, because Karras has devised an AI that's powered by a steam engine. Like, you know, obviously that makes no sense, but it's pretty impressive if you do not think about it very hard. You know, Karras was just insane, like, personally. But the mechanists in general, I think they actually have a lot to offer, sort of on top of, in comparison to the Hammerites. Brother Cavador, several mechanists heretics have been spied in downtown Sunnyport. This is no secret that they control that blasphemous steam carriage the town council approved, but thus far we have kept them from venturing further into the town. I remind you that Inquisitor Dibbler interrogated young William, the pastry boy, several weeks ago when he was caught eavesdropping on a private conversation near Brother Onum's office. The Inquisitor was unable to extract any useful information from him before the treacherous throat was cut, though the boy did mention something about the ways of Karras. I fear that this does not bode well, nor do I guess the intentions of those mechanists, but this will be nigh impossible to contain the wrath of our eager young acolytes against such apostates. This has been many years past since the vile smuggling ring was driven from the underbelly of this town, and thus the hammers of our zealous brothers do grow thirsty for the blood of the blasphemer and the heretic. Give the word, and the full inquiries will be conducted, and anyone suspected to have mechanists sympathies. Brother at Arms, Malcolm. Now, Dibbler, again, is a very famous character within the books of Terry Pratchett from the Discworld series. And actually, the wording of this, it says here, Inquisitor Dibbler interrogated the boy and was unable to extract any information before the throat was cut. I believe this is the wording is deliberate because Dibbler in the Discworld series he's known as cutting my own throat Dibbler. Because he's a tradesman and his catchphrase is, you know, my offer, my price, or whatever, my goods are so good that I'm basically cutting my own throat by offering them so cheaply. So I do believe that that's a reference as well in and of itself. Okay, so there was literally nothing here. I thought this staircase led to somewhere important, but clearly it didn't. It's just a balcony. It's not exactly what I had planned.
A relief it is that it was nothing but mine own imagination.
Surely my tired eyes play tricks, or I did see something move.
What was that noise? What an intruder!
Okay,
Pray thief that I dispatch
that didn't work.
with thee quickly.
But basically at this stage I can just do whatever, right? Because I just need to return to my room and the mission will be over. Wait, but where am I actually? Like, I was under the impression this would lead somewhere near the cathedral, but I am unsure of where I am. Yeah, that seems to have been kind of pointless. Opening this gate and all that. Like, I guess let me just... Can I even use the... No, I can't. I don't think I can use the same secret passage to get out. So there has to be a way out from here. Although there might also be like a back door, I don't remember. I'm actually pretty confused about where I'm supposed to be going. Okay, I missed one secret. What? How did I kill two people? There was no instance of me like hitting someone over and over and over again. So how did they die? Gas arrows don't kill people, they knock them out. That's sad and annoying, but not enough to redo the mission, so I'm just not sure how it happened. Oh well. Anyway, this episode has been long enough, so I'm going to end it here. That's all for this one, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.